Well, you actually had a group of people in that prison system that actually believed in you and actually saw potential in you. So when it got to your 18th birthday, I guess the courts wanted you to go to adult prison, but a group of people in the juvenile system spoke on your behalf.
Yeah, the state of Texas recommendation was for me to be transferred to the adult prison system on my 18th birthday. Uh, I was considered the worst of the worst. I had convinced these motherfuckers that I was this Crip motherfucker. Man, I put on the show down there. That's all I can say. Man, I convinced the state of Texas that I was one of the worst children that they had ever seen to come through their juvenile system. Uh, it was documented that if they had released me on my 18th birthday, I would have committed another murder. I'm making these bold claims to the psychiatrist, to the psychologist. I'm hollering Crip for life. I done told my mama Crip for life, but my mother would always say, son, God got the final say so. Man, mama, these white folks say I'm going to prison. So for 3 years straight, man, that's all I heard. Man, you going to prison. So when it was finally time for me to go to court, man, to my transfer hearing, the state had a strong recommendation. I earned that recommendation, and I should have went to prison. But there was 4 individuals who worked on my dorm. We called them house parents back then. Today they're called juvenile correction officers. I was taught, man, I was raised not to trust white people. Man, I was taught that. Man, all of my crimes prior to me joining the gang have always been predicated toward white people. I thought you rob white people. I thought, man, this is what we do. You snatch a white woman's purse. You don't snatch it. So this, you break in your white friends' houses. So this is what I thought. I grew up believing this, right? So I set out to be a racist kid, right? We fought Mexicans, we fought Asians, and we fought white folks. So when I get the gang shit, I still have the beliefs that I was taught from family. Man, you don't trust these white people. But through my experiences through the juvenile system, I had a white probation officer, Kelly Willis. I had a white judge, Judge Gene Boyd, Judge Scott Moore. I had a white attorney, Carl Mallory. So I'm still got the notion, man, you don't trust these white folks. They work for the system. Well, these 2 white women, Miss Pumple, Belinda Jean Pumple, she looked racist. Donna DeRocha was a little short lady. She was my caseworker, so she overseed my file. I didn't trust white people, but these 2 white people put their jobs on the line to come back and testify on my behalf. I resented black men because I grew up without a father. A black man couldn't tell me shit. A black boy could. A black woman could. But a black man can't tell me a motherfucking thing. I ain't grew up without no man telling me shit. So here it is. I got 2 white women, something that I was taught not to trust. Now I got 2 black men, Mr. Nelson and Mr. Mathis. So I got these 4 workers that work for the state. Now the state is saying, hey, this kid needs to go to prison. He's one of our worst. They went against their employer. So they put their jobs on the line. Then they had to travel 4 hours back from Giddings to Fort Worth, Texas. To make sure that they came, my lawyer subpoenaed them when he found out that they wanted to come to put protection around their jobs. Now, I'm 17 going on 18, so of course my brain maturity, right? So I'm kind of developing brain maturity. So I'm looking and saying, man, why are these 2 white women doing this for me? Now I'm starting to question shit that I've been taught, right? Man, why these white people doing this for me? And I'm telling them, I'm throwing up all this gang. I'm telling these motherfuckers what I'm gonna do. Then I resent black men. Why they doing this? I don't trust these white women, and I resent these 2 motherfuckers. Man, why they put they man? So as I'm sitting, listening to them talk about why I shouldn't go to prison, man, the only thing they have to say is this kid got potential, Your Honor. They ain't got shit else good. I ain't done nothing positive. I got my GED. I completed a 9-month chemical dependency treatment program on Dorm 8. And the only 2 things that I had done. I had spent 9 months in segregated lockdown in the GRU program. I was a gang leader. I was kicking off riots. So they had every reason to send me to prison. But here it is. Somebody is believing in me when I didn't believe in a motherfucking thing. I even stopped believing in mama's God. Here it is. I got these motherfuckers caring about me when at this point I don't care about nothing but the set. The judge, Judge Gene Boyd, In her defense, she should have sent me to prison. But she was able to see in me what those people was describing. Your Honor, if we had more time to work with this young man, we think he could make a difference. So rather than her sending me to prison, she looked at my mother and asked my mother, Miss White, are you asking for your son to be released? And my mother said no. Man, I looked at mama. Man, what? Mama know best. Mama said no. So they recommitted me, man, back into the custody of the Texas Youth Commission, where I stayed another 3 years. And let me just say this. I got an opportunity to face my victim's family. And they wrote me a letter. And they said, we forgive you. We forgive y'all. So to be forgiven, right? Something happened that day in that courtroom that I can't explain. I just know something changed on the inside of me for what those 4 people done and what that family had said to me, right? Something changed inside of me. So I couldn't go back and be the C-nut no more because something really changed inside of me. For one, I wasn't no bad kid, no way. I was just in pain. And so what I realized is that there's no such thing as a bad kid. What I realized, there's no such thing as a kid with a cold-blooded heart. I grew up with children who killed their mothers and their fathers. I grew up with children who stabbed their best friend 93 times. And we were still children. We still cried. So all that, nah, homie, nah, You got to condition your heart to be hardened. And the kid don't have the wherewithal to do that. We was in pain. And the juvenile system gave us an outlet through group therapies, through life stories, through offense cycles. I had to reenact my crime. I had to do psychodrama therapy where we was in a room with psychiatrists and we had to reenact this motherfucking crime. So you can tap into what empathy is. Not only do you reenact the crime, you got to play the part of your victim. And when they cut them lights off and you down there playing the part of your victim so you can try to feel what it's like to be victimized, say, homie, that's psychological shit, homie. And they knew what they was doing. They was really running this experiment program because remember, we're the first children in America, in Texas, to commit these violent crimes. And it was a wonderful program. And they gave us everything that we needed to come out here and be successful. So I'm the product of a good juvenile system.